Staff were used to pets being returned, but never this quickly. When Pepper the cat was brought back just a day after being adopted, everyone braced for the worst. As they opened the accompanying note, their hearts sank. The words inside were both heartbreaking and revealing, uncovering a story far beyond their expectations. Evelyn was overwhelmed with emotion as tears streamed down her face. She now understood why Pepper had been returned so swiftly, but the revelation shattered her. Determined to find the woman who had adopted Pepper, Evelyn felt a deep sense of responsibility. There had to be more to this story. What did the note reveal? Why had Pepper been returned? And would Evelyn's quest to uncover the truth ever succeed? Evelyn hadn't been at the shelter long, but she loved her job. She enjoyed spending time with the animals and got along well with her colleagues. On this particular day, something special happened. It wasn't common for Evelyn and her team to find new homes for the animals every day, but it happened a few times a week. She loved seeing the happy cats and dogs go to their new families, and the new owners always left the shelter with big smiles. Each time it happened, it made her day. The day before had been an amazing day because of that exact reason. She had finally found a home for Pepper, a young tabby cat that had been in the shelter since the day he was born. A woman had entered the shelter looking for a new pet, and as soon as she laid eyes on Pepper, she knew it had to be him. Evelyn and the rest of the staff were overjoyed and relieved to know that little Pepper had finally found his new family, where he would be treated with the love and care he deserved. But that wasn't the end of the story. When Evelyn came into work that morning, she immediately noticed that something was off. She had felt the same atmosphere before, and it could only mean one thing: a previously adopted animal had been returned to the shelter. Then she made her way to the team's office. When she arrived, she found all of her colleagues inside, huddled together around the desk. "Hey guys, what's going on?" Evelyn asked, even though she thought she already knew the answer. Her colleagues turned around, and she immediately saw the worried and sad expressions on their faces. She immediately knew that her intuition had been right. Someone had returned an animal. But why did everyone seem so upset? She approached the pink basket on the table and wondered which of the recently adopted animals was lying inside. She got close enough to recognize it. She gasped. This couldn't be. It was Pepper. He had not even been adopted 24 hours ago, and his new owner had already returned him. What? How? Why? She exclaimed, unable to form a complete sentence. Penelope, one of her colleagues, was holding a piece of paper, and Evelyn understood that this was the note that had been delivered with Pepper, possibly as some sort of explanation for why the woman had returned him so quickly. Evelyn extended her hand, eager to uncover the reason behind Pepper's abrupt return. However, Penelope, tears streaming down her face, grasped the note firmly. With a sudden decisive motion, she tore it into shreds, her voice trembling. "It's better we don't know." Shocked, Evelyn could only stare at the pieces of paper fluttering to the ground. Confusion and concern spread among the shelter staff. Evelyn's eyes met those of her colleagues, each reflecting the same bewilderment. Why would Penelope destroy the note? What could have been written on it that was so distressing? The staff gathered, each offering their own speculation. Despite the rampant speculations, Penelope remained a silent enigma. Whispers filled the corners of the shelter as the staff speculated about the note. The lack of information about Pepper's adoption and quick return left Evelyn increasingly unsettled. Each unanswered question added to her restlessness. Driven by a mix of duty and compassion, Evelyn's resolve to uncover the truth about Pepper's return grew stronger. She began to imagine ways to investigate, to reach beyond the walls of the shelter for answers. She would start by reviewing Pepper's adoption paperwork, hoping to find a lead. After gathering her thoughts and steeling her nerves, Evelyn started by meticulously reviewing Pepper's adoption records. Her fingers swiftly flipped through the pages, and Evelyn's eyes caught the address listed in the adoption records. It was a tangible lead, something she could follow up on. Resolute, she decided to visit the address, hoping that by going there, she might find some clues or perhaps even meet someone who knew the adopter. With this new plan, Evelyn felt a renewed sense of purpose. Evelyn arrived at the address listed in Pepper's adoption records, her heart filled with a mix of hope and apprehension. However, her hope quickly dissipated when she learned from a neighbor that the woman who had adopted Pepper had moved away recently, leaving no trace behind, not even a forwarding address. Evelyn stood there feeling a sense of loss and confusion. The absence of a forwarding address deepened the mystery. Evelyn's mind raced with questions. Why had the woman left without a trace? Every clue she followed seemed to lead nowhere. Though frustrated, Evelyn refused to give up. Her concern for Pepper and her need for answers only made her more determined. She knew that understanding Pepper's story was important for both her peace of mind and Pepper's well-being. In a quiet part of the shelter, Penelope finally spoke to Evelyn. "I destroyed the note because I didn't want us to suffer," she said softly. "The words were too sad for us to handle." Evelyn listened, surprised and empathetic. Penelope's distant look and emotional recounting of the note showed how much it had affected her. With a renewed sense of purpose, Evelyn started planning her next steps. Evelyn, with a mix of trepidation and determination, finally made contact with Pepper's adopter. With Penelope's reluctant assistance, she reached out, only to be met with a brief, intense conversation. The woman's steadfast refusal to discuss Pepper's abrupt return left Evelyn grappling with an array of unanswered questions. Observing Evelyn's persistent efforts, Penelope suggested it might be time to let go and find Pepper another home. Yet Evelyn felt an unwavering commitment to uncover the full story. Penelope's hesitation and doubts only served to strengthen Evelyn's resolve. She continued to reach out, driven by her commitment to Pepper's well-being and a deep-seated need to uncover the truth. Persistence finally led to a breakthrough. The woman, perhaps recognizing Evelyn's sincere dedication, agreed to meet. Evelyn sat across from Pepper's former adopter, her heart pounding with anticipation. She braced herself for the truth, the mystery that had haunted the shelter for days. The woman's voice was soft but filled with emotion as she began to speak. "I loved Pepper the moment I saw him," she confessed, her eyes glistening with tears. "But my health, it's been declining. I realized I couldn't give him the care he deserves." Her words were a painful echo of love and loss, a heart-rending revelation. Evelyn listened, a lump forming in her throat. The woman detailed the contents of the note, explaining her deep affection for Pepper and her sorrowful decision. It was a note filled with love and a painful acknowledgement of her limitations. Evelyn understood now why Penelope had torn it up. The truth was as beautiful as it was heartbreaking. Evelyn felt a deep sense of empathy as she listened to the woman's story. She understood that sometimes tough decisions come from a place of deep love. Moved by the woman's heartfelt tale, Evelyn proposed a solution. "What if we both adopt Pepper?" Evelyn suggested softly. "You can still be part of his life." The woman looked surprised. "How would that work?" she asked. Evelyn explained that they could share Pepper's care and costs, coordinate visits, and make sure he had a stable home. It was an unusual idea, but it could meet everyone's needs, especially Pepper's. The woman's eyes filled with tears of gratitude as she accepted Evelyn's offer. "Thank you," she said, her voice choked with emotion. Together, Evelyn and the woman began co-adopting Pepper. They set up a care schedule and planned visits, each detail showing their love and care. Pepper thrived in his new arrangement, happy and content in two loving homes. Evelyn and the woman watched him play, their hearts full. Pepper's story had brought them together, creating a unique and caring bond that made everyone's lives richer.